The elevator doors slid open with a soft chime, and Daniel froze where he stood, mop in hand. The woman standing inside, dressed in a sleek black suit, golden curls falling over her shoulders, a glass of wine in her hand, was the last person he expected to see at 10:30 p.m. The CEO herself. Alexandra Hartwell. The most powerful woman in the building, and the one person Daniel had spent a year trying to avoid. Not because he hated her, but because every time she walked by, his heart reminded him he had no business dreaming about someone who lived in a world far above his own. But tonight would become the night he could never forget. The hook that changed everything. "Janitor," she said, stepping out of the elevator, her voice steady but her eyes shining with a pain she tried to hide. "What's your name?" He blinked. "Daniel. Daniel Reeves, ma'am." She looked around the empty executive lounge, the skyline behind her glowing violet under the closing sunset. Only the two of them existed in that quiet moment. Then she said words so strange, so unexpected, he nearly dropped the mop. "I need you to pretend to kiss me for 7 minutes." Daniel's mind spun. He swallowed hard. "I'm sorry, you want me to what?" She lifted her chin, but her voice cracked ever so softly. "Just 7 minutes. Act like you're someone who cares about me. Someone who's not here for my money, my position, or what I can give them. I need to look like I'm taken. Just tonight." Daniel stared at her, confused, stunned, unsure if she was joking. But she wasn't. Her eyes shimmered, with something close to fear. And Daniel, a single father who had spent years learning to read the emotions people hid, saw the truth. She was desperate. But why? The CEO's secret. Alexandra motioned him toward the window where the city glimmered behind her. "My board thinks I'm too cold, too business-focused, too unapproachable. They demanded to see proof I can build personal relationships like any normal human. They expect a partner by tomorrow's meeting. If they think I'm incapable of that, I could lose control of my own company." Daniel didn't understand that world, the world of power and money and ruthless expectations. But he understood the feeling of losing everything. He had felt it when his wife died, when he became a single dad overnight, when he had to take a janitor job to survive. He knew the sting of fighting battles no one else could see. Daniel set the mop aside. "Why me?" he asked quietly. Her eyes lowered. "Because you're the first person I've seen tonight who isn't pretending. You're real." The unlikely agreement. Daniel's heart pounded as she stepped closer, her perfume soft but warm, her breath trembling. "I won't force you," she said. "But I just need someone to stand beside me. To act like I'm worth something more than my title." Her vulnerability shocked him. He'd always seen her as untouchable. Unbreakable. But tonight, she was simply human. Daniel took a slow breath. "All right," he said softly. 7 minutes. I'll help." Relief washed over her face, so deep and genuine he almost forgot she was the CEO. Almost. 7 minutes that changed everything. They moved to the lounge's leather armchair, dim city lights reflecting in the glass around them. Alexandra handed him her wine glass, her fingers brushing his, just slightly. "Just lean in. Enough for anyone watching to assume we're close." Daniel sat across from her, feeling out of place in his old uniform. She shifted toward him, her legs crossing, her posture relaxed, but her eyes revealing nerves she rarely showed anyone. "Look at me," she whispered. He did. And in that moment, something shifted. Not romance. Not desire. Something far deeper. Recognition. Two lonely souls meeting in a place neither of them expected. She gently rested her hand on his. Not seductive. Not commanding. Just human. For 7 minutes, Daniel wasn't a janitor, and Alexandra wasn't a CEO. They were simply two people, sharing space, sharing silence, sharing truth. When the 7 minutes ended, she didn't pull away. Neither did he. The photograph that ruined everything. Just as Alexandra stood and thanked him, the lounge door swung open. A board member. The strictest one. He froze, eyes widening at the scene, the CEO leaning close to a janitor, wine glasses on the table, the skyline behind them like a staged painting. Before Alexandra could explain, the board member snapped a picture. "This is what you call professionalism," he scoffed. "You expect me to believe this is a real relationship?" Alexandra straightened her shoulders. "It is real. And if you question him, you question me." But the board member smirked. "Tomorrow, we're voting on whether you remain CEO. And this guarantees you won't." He stormed out. Alexandra sank into the chair, face pale. "I'm finished," she whispered. "I just dragged you into something terrible." Daniel shook his head. "No. We're not done." The single dad who stood up to millionaires. The next morning, Daniel put on his cleanest shirt. He wasn't rich. He wasn't powerful. But he had the truth, and a promise he made to help her. During the board meeting, Alexandra stood before the long table, composed but tense. One board member cleared his throat. "You lied about having a partner." Alexandra opened her mouth to defend herself, but Daniel stepped in first. "No," he said firmly. "She didn't." Every head turned. Daniel wasn't intimidated. He'd faced things worse than wealthy men with expensive ties. He explained how he'd helped her because she needed support as a human being, not as a CEO. He spoke of her kindness, her leadership, her humanity, qualities they had ignored. He didn't embarrass her. He didn't expose her secret pain. He simply told the truth. "You don't need someone wealthy or powerful to prove you're capable of love," Daniel said. "You just need someone who sees you." The room went silent. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then one board member stood. "I vote to keep her." Another followed. Then another. The picture taken the night before suddenly meant nothing. Alexandra kept her position. And Daniel walked out quietly, ready to return to his small life. But she wasn't done with him. The offer he never expected. Alexandra caught up to him outside the building. "You fought for me," she whispered. "No one ever has." Daniel shrugged. "You needed help." She smiled, soft, grateful, warm. "Come work for me," she said. "Not as a janitor. As someone I trust. Someone who speaks the truth when others won't. Be my personal aide. Better salary. Better hours. A better life for your daughter." Daniel hesitated, overwhelmed. "Why me?" Her answer changed everything. "Because you're the only one who didn't see me as a CEO. You saw me. A new beginning." Daniel accepted. Not because of money. Not because of pride. But because he realized something rare. Someone finally saw him too. And though the story began with a strange request in the quiet of an empty building, it ended with two people discovering the courage to be honest, vulnerable, and human in a world that tried to make them anything but. Final message. Sometimes life tests us with strange, unexpected moments. But what defines us is how we rise, not with power or wealth, but with honesty, compassion, and the courage to stand beside someone when they need it most. Daniel and Alexandra learned that real strength comes from connection, not status. And that sometimes, a single act of kindness can change two lives forever.